everyone, welcome back to Herky the Cavalier's channel. I'm here today with Herky and Milton and two very special guests today. So this is Nadia and Pika. Hi! You probably heard their name before in our previous video for the Q&A, but here they are with us today. Nadia is the mom, Pika is the beautiful tricolored girl. Nadia is a fellow Cav mom that we met through Instagram, and I think we met the first time last year,
yeah,
or 2 years ago or something?
A year and a half ago or
yeah,
something.
we developed a really good friendship ever since, and I see her every time I come to LA. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to bring her on and discuss some dog traveling and more specifically emotional support animals, because Nadia and Pika travel a lot, right?
Yes.
Pika, you want to come here? Pika is going to come on and off
She'll
of the
come
video.
here. She's probably looking for a toy.
So, do you want to tell us a bit about like your love of Cavaliers, like where everything came from?
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Europe,
Mhm.
and actually I've had Cavaliers since I can remember.
Mhm.
When I was little, we got our first Cavalier, a tricolor female, and she was beautiful and super healthy. So we even had puppies, you know. It was all, you know, they all got pedigrees, and she had 2 litters of Cavaliers, and then we got another Cavalier, black and tan, also a female.
Wow.
So we had 2 at the same time, plus little puppies.
That's the dream, by the way, to have Cavalier puppies.
Yeah,
like, it's one of my
they're
dreams.
so cute.
Oh my god.
Like waking up with like all these, but it's awful to like give them.
I
and,
can
like,
only
you can all,
imagine.
like, we were all
Yeah.
crying. My whole family was crying.
You get attached to all of them, right?
Yeah, all of them.
Probably.
Like, because you give them names, like they had different personalities. It's
For
just
sure.
yeah. So yeah, we still, you know, since then we've had Cavaliers. My mom still has a beautiful Ruby.
Yeah.
So
you've never had a Blenheim?
Never. Actually, that's the only color
yeah.
that I've never had.
So your first was tricolor.
Tricolor, then I had a black and tan, and then
a
Ruby, and now I've got a tricolor Pika.
How old is Pika?
She's almost 2. She'll be 2 on March 13th.
Oh,
So hopefully you'll come to our birthday party.
Yeah, we will. Hopefully come to her birthday party too.
Come here, stay here. This is a video.
The reason why I wanted Nadia to come on the video with us today is because she traveled a lot with Pika.
Yeah.
I think you've traveled to Europe and to Hawaii.
Like the long distance. She's been to Europe with us twice. We go at least once a year, and we're going again actually in 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah. We went to Hawaii. We went like across the US actually. We went to Canada twice.
Oh,
yeah, went
really?
to Vancouver.
Okay.
So yeah, Pika has probably deserves her own frequent flyer card.
She does.
She
Wow.
does.
She traveled a lot more than Herky and Milton. And so when you fly with her, does she fly as a pet in cabin or does she fly as emotional support?
She flies as an emotional support animal, and she actually is my emotional support animal, which is, I think, a US specific thing. I don't know if you have it in Canada, but
it's more new in Canada, I would say. I heard about it through our American friends, and I thought it was a good solution for me personally. I don't think it's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Do you agree?
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, different people have different needs, and different breeds have different needs and personalities. For us, for sure, I need her as my emotional support animal, especially during flying because of my past experiences. So I don't know if your viewers are familiar with what it means to have an emotional support animal.
I think a good refresher would be always good.
Well, according to, you know, the regulations, you know, and rules, an emotional support animal is an animal. I believe for flying it can only be a dog or a cat, but it's an animal that you as a person, as the animal's owner, need for your emotional stability, pretty much. So you need them to fly with you in your lap, because otherwise you are either anxious or have one other
phobias
or you know, anything on the list of emotional distresses.
So it's different than service dogs.
Oh yeah, it's very different. Emotional support animals, really, they're not allowed to go into restaurants. They're not allowed to go into supermarkets, and they don't
parks. And like, you know, those parks outside that say like it's only service dogs. Pika, what is it? She's jealous.
No, she wants me to throw the ball.
Oh, okay.
And emotional support animals also don't have to be trained in the same way. So, you know, service animals are usually trained to perform a very specific task, like to monitor you for seizures, which requires extensive training. But emotional support animals really...
They don't require training. No.
They have to be behaved well.
Exactly.
Of course.
And like a misconception about PSA is that they need to be registered. There's no website for registration, and I think we get that question all the time on our channel, is which website did we use for registration? And all those websites are pretty much
basically fake.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like they're all scams. You don't need to register.
You don't need to register them, and actually all you need, of course, different airlines, talking about flying now, right? Like different airlines have different regulations and different forms. We usually fly United, and United has 3 different forms that you have to fill out if you want to fly with an emotional support animal. On top of that, you always need, for every airline, you will need a letter from your therapist. Which is a psychiatrist or just a therapist saying that
just a physician, you know, like mine is from my doctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my family doctor, she can do it.
Okay.
So I guess it depends on like every airline. United, do they specify that it needs to be from a therapist or a doctor?
I always thought that the TSA regulations in the US require it to be from a therapist, but I guess a doctor can do, you know, whoever has the credentials to write the letter that says basically that you need this animal because of your specific needs, basically, and like medically approved needs.
So those forms that you have to fill out for United, do they need to be filled out a certain number of days before you travel?
Well, for United, it's you have to submit it at least 48 hours before each flight. That's it.
Wow. Okay.
But they have to be updated. So the forms and they change all the time. So I highly encourage everyone to like check their websites regularly, the airlines' websites, because they change the rules all the time. And it's the therapist form, then it's a self-evaluation form saying that your dog is well behaved and you will not, you know, have an accident on the plane. Then there's another form that your vet has to sign with all the recent vaccinations and just saying that the animal is healthy. And those have to be, I think, like no more than a year old. Thank you, Herky. Thank you.
So I guess it really depends on each airline, because what we have for Air Canada, we always fly with Air Canada from Montreal to LA. We only need the therapist letter.
Okay.
So I submit that to Air Canada Medical, I think 30 days in advance so that they're aware of it. And all I need when I cross the border into the US is to have their vaccination certificates up to date.
I remember, because we flew Air Canada, it was the same.
Yeah.
And actually we're flying Lufthansa a few times.
Okay.
And right now we're flying Lufthansa to Europe, and with them it's another type of a form plus a letter from the therapist. So each airline has a different.
If you want to fly with your pet as an ESA, we strongly suggest that you check their website prior to travel, like at least a month or two in advance.
Yeah. Just check.
Just to be sure that everything's going to be okay and you follow everything. But there's always exceptions, because Hawaii is the US. But they're very different for ESA. Can you tell us what it is?
Hawaii and Europe and, you know, a lot of different countries obviously have very different and strict requirements. Hawaii is like on top of the difficult list when it comes to travel. Because it's an island that doesn't have rabies. So they're very, very careful with, you know, not bringing rabies in. So you showing the proof that your dog has been vaccinated against rabies is not enough. So if you want to fly with your dog to Hawaii, and we actually wrote a long blog post about it.
Okay. We'll be linking the blog post too if you want like a written format. It's from Wine Pooch, right?
Wine Pooch, But like in short, basically, start planning like 2 months in advance. We would recommend. Go to your vet. Ideally, they will know what the procedure is. And this is only talking about flying from the US to Hawaii. There's different requirements probably from different countries. Like from mainland US, this is the requirement, right? Go to your vet, make them take your dog's blood and send it to one of the 3 labs that are approved to do the rabies titer test. They are Kansas, Texas, and somewhere else. There's like
And how much does that cost?
That costs around $250 at least. There's a way of doing it yourself, but I didn't want to meddle with like sending my dog's blood sample anywhere.
Wait. You do yourself, like you take it?
No. You, like someone takes your dog's, like your vet takes the blood, right? But then like they only charge you for that. But you can like send the sample yourself. But I just didn't want to,
of course.
Okay. So for sure the whole procedure is pretty costly. So that, and then you have to wait for 30 days to get the lab results back. And within the 30 days you're not allowed to travel because that's like the incubation period basically. And then once you do that, a few days, Pika, can you stop scratching? You also need a different type of a vet certificate to be able to fly to Hawaii. So it's Hawaii specific. And you know, different vets will charge different for it. In LA, vets charge, you know, $150 to $200 to sign this paper. And your dog will have to receive a topical or an oral anti-flea and anti-tick medication within 10 days before travel.
And that's mandatory?
That's mandatory. And you cannot give that to your dog yourself. You have to go to the vet and they have to sign a form saying that they gave it to them. And not all of the, like Revolution is not allowed. So basically, I think Pika got frontline.
So it's very specific. If you want to take your dog to Hawaii from mainland US.
Yes.
So I can only imagine, let's say, if we want to take the dogs from Canada to Hawaii, it must be really hard.
I wonder if you can send your dog's blood to the same lab in the US.
Yeah, I wonder too. But okay, that's really interesting. And so if you want to take them to, let's say, Europe, is it similar? I think you need them microchipped.
Yes, and actually for Hawaii you need them microchipped as well. The microchip has to be implanted before they're vaccinated against rabies. So, if your dog doesn't have a microchip, start the procedure like even earlier than 2 months in advance, just to be sure.
Let's say Herky is already vaccinated for rabies, but she's not microchipped. What would I do if I want to go to Europe?
If you want to go to Europe, you would probably have to have her microchipped.
Yeah.
And then she would maybe have to have another rabies shot.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think. And there's different types of microchips. One with only 9 numbers, and one that are like EU approved with 15 numbers. The 15 number one is the correct one. So make sure that you have the correct chip for flying to Europe. But in general, like flying to Europe or at least to the EU is much easier than flying to Hawaii.
Okay.
With a dog.
And if we want to fly,
good girl.
So cute. If I want to fly to Europe, do they accept emotional support animals?
Yeah. So usually, it again depends on each airline. I would say the majority of the larger airlines, including Lufthansa, Swiss, KLM, Air France, and obviously United and American Delta, they will accept emotional support animals on any direct or connecting flight to or from the US.
Okay.
So whenever we fly to Europe, we usually fly to either Austria, Italy, Croatia, or Slovenia, and there's always a connecting flight involved.
Okay.
So make sure that if you want to fly to Europe or anywhere, you inform both airlines, the airline that brought you to Europe and then the connecting airline, and because it's a flight from the US or to the US, they will honor.
Okay. And besides the requirements from the airline, are there sometimes requirements when you enter the country?
Oh yeah, always. Okay. So before we fly to the EU, now we're so skilled in that we know it by heart. Before we fly to the EU, usually a few weeks in advance, we go to the vet, who again signs a specific EU-specific veterinary form. It has to be a USDA accredited vet.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how you would do it from Canada. It's different, but probably similar. And the vet has to sign that the dog is healthy, put in the microchip, all the vaccination records. And then I believe it's 10 or 5 days before you fly, you need to take the veterinary forms to the USDA office. Now we're really lucky because we live in Santa Monica, which is near the airport, and the office is right there. So we have to make an appointment and go and get a stamp, pay I think $30, $40, and we're good to go. If you don't live near an office, you can send the documents in, but it probably have to be FedEx because it has to be done within 10 days.
Exactly, yeah. Wow, so all this is a lot of information, but what I can gather from everything, and the biggest tip I would give people is do your research for each of the airline, each of the country where you want to go. ESAs in general, it's what we explained, but there are very specific things for each airline and each country that you want to visit.
Exactly.
And we were thinking of maybe taking the girls to Greece sometime in the upcoming few years. But then we were wondering if, because they have direct flights from Montreal to Athens, but then from Athens to Santorini, it's a Greek airline. So that, I don't know if they accept ESAs.
I think it will depend. If you fly to Athens and then stay in Athens for a few days and then have a totally separate flight to Santorini, they probably will not accept emotional support animals.
Okay, but if you go directly,
they should.
So yeah, that's one of our future travel plans. We really want to take them to Europe one day because it's almost the same amount of time. When we fly out to LA, it's a 6-hour flight. And for us going to Europe, it's also about 6 hours. So.
And mind you, we're very upset with that. A few weeks ago, United and Delta changed their rules.
Oh my god, tell me.
Yeah, and they no longer allow emotional support animals on any flight that is longer than 8 hours. Which is ridiculous because this means that we can fly from here to Europe. We can fly via New York, which is 6 hours, and then from New York to Amsterdam or Paris, which is another 7.5 or so hours. But because the flights back, because of the way the Earth rotates, are longer, there's no flight for us that's less than 8 hours from Europe to the US.
Really?
So that's why we're flying Lufthansa now.
Oh.
Just mind it, you know. There's all these little tricks and changes all the time.
Right.
Because people have just been exploiting the emotional support animal credentials. And you know, apparently there have been a lot of accidents in the planes, like dogs barking, biting, like peeing, you know.
Oh, that's
like,
really
Pika
sad.
is great on flights. She just
Of course,
sleeps.
I'm sure.
She just sleeps. She's not like this.
Herky and Milton too. They're great. They're not the ones that make the rules change.
Yeah,
I assure
exactly.
you. They've never had any accidents
No.
in the plane.
No
They
way.
just sleep the entire time,
Yeah.
you know. And where are you going this time in February?
We're flying to Croatia.
Wow.
We're going to go home to Croatia and Slovenia, and then we're going to go skiing in Austria for a weekend. Pika has never seen snow.
Oh, really?
So that's going to be exciting.
That is so
I
exciting.
know.
Oh my god.
Pika, are you excited about snow? Can you give me a kiss?
They don't know
Good girl,
that.
Milton.
Such a good girl. So as you can see, Pika is a real jet setter. I'm telling you, she's gonna go. She does
She's
all
going
these fun activities.
yeah.
It's so amazing. So on her way back, we will hopefully see her at her birthday party.
Yeah.
But we love hanging out with Pika, and the girls get along with Pika so well. So we hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions regarding traveling or ESA or anything at all, leave the comments below. I'll also insert Nadia's blogs regarding traveling if you want everything written.
Thank you so much for inviting us, and if you have any questions about coming to LA or the US or Croatia, Hawaii
Yeah.
or Slovenia, we would love to help.
Yeah, for
Pika's
sure.
been to Croatia several times. She loves swimming, so I know like Croatia is a big destination these days.
Really? So thank you guys so much for watching. Thumbs up if you want to see Nadia and Pika on our channel again. And thank you so much for watching, guys. We love you, and we'll see you soon. Bye!